Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus has been named the head of Bangladesh's interim government after Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled the country. The decision was made during a meeting between Bangladeshi President Shahabuddin, the coordinators of the anti-discrimination student movement and the chiefs of the armed forces. According to the President's office, additional members of the government will be selected through consultations with various political parties. In the midst of the political turmoil, Bangladesh Nationalist Party is all set to hold a rally in Dhaka today. BNP acting chairperson Tariq Rahman will be the chief guest and address the event along with other central BNP leaders. This comes amid growing protests against the Awami League leaders. In the latest, bodies of at least 20 leaders of the Awami League and their family members were recovered across the country after their houses and business establishments were vandalized and looted. Following violent clashes and protests, the Bangladesh Police Association has said that it is launching a strike across the country because of a lack of security after numerous police stations were attacked after Hasina's resignation. The association said that the police officers would not return to work unless their safety is assured. Air India airline operated a special charter flight from the Dhaka airport last night despite infrastructure challenges and carried 199 passengers and 6 infants from Dhaka to Delhi. Hamas named its Gaza leader Yahya Sinwar as its new political bureau chief. Sinwar will be the successor to former political chief Ismail Haniyeh, who was assassinated in Tehran just last week. Sinwar will now call the shots on a ceasefire deal, and Israel needs to face him for a solution to the war. Israel's military spokesperson Daniel Hagari has said that there is only one place for Yahya Sinwar, and it is beside Mohammed and the rest of the October 7 terrorists which Israel has killed. Amid Sinwar's appointment, Israel not only continued with its warnings but also its offensive. In Deir al-Balah in central Gaza, 3 Israeli missiles hit near a mosque, wounding dozens of people. Residents said Israeli tank shelling is also continuing overnight. It continued overnight in Burej, Al-Maghazi and Nusayrat. Israeli military said its forces killed 45 Palestinian fighters in Gaza over the past day. Following the announcement of Yahya Sinwar as the new political bureau chief of Hamas, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has said that Sinwar will be the primary decider on a ceasefire now. He also emphasized that the United States has communicated to both Iran and Israel that conflict must not escalate. Blinken also said that talks to achieve a ceasefire and hostage deal have reached their final stage. Meanwhile, analysts believe that Hamas' choice puts Gaza front and center of the dynamics in the Hamas movement, not just in terms of the events on the ground, but also politically. In another cross-border escalation between Israel and Lebanon, 6 Hezbollah fighters have been killed in border clashes with Israeli forces, while 1 person has been killed on the Israeli side. Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah sent out the strongest warning to Israel. The warning came after multiple drone strikes were reported in Israel. As per the Israeli army, a number of hostile drones were identified crossing over into Israel from Lebanon, and one was intercepted. Following Hezbollah's drone strikes, the Israeli army said that several civilians were injured in the south of the coastal city of Nahariya. Residents of the northern towns near Lebanon's border were told to stay near bomb shelters. Israeli medical officials said 7 people were evacuated to a hospital to the south of the coastal city of Nahariya, where one is said to be in critical condition. The IDF also said that 20 rockets were launched towards Golan region, and rocket sirens were heard across Israel's northern area. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday said that the country has contracted 1 million drones for the year, and more drones are expected to come in towards the end of the year. This comes as Ukraine is fighting the war with dwindling supplies. Meanwhile, in the latest round of missile and drone attacks between Russia and Ukraine, the Ukrainian troops fought off an assault on the capital city Kiev. Ukraine has downed 2 ballistic missiles, 2 Kh-59 cruise missiles and 15 Russian attack drones as well. Russian drones, on the other hand, sparked fire and damage to multiple buildings in the Ukrainian capital. The Indian Air Force began its first ever multinational exercise on its own soil in Tamil Nadu, Tarang Shakti 2024. The air exercise aims to bolster strategic relationships with the international community. Homegrown LCA Tejas fighter jets intercepted German, French and Spanish contingents taking part in the war games. Alongside LCA Tejas, Mirage 2000 and Rafale jets are also part of the mega air exercise. This is also the first time that the German Air Force is taking part in an exercise in India. The first phase, which is currently ongoing, will conclude next week, while the second phase will take place in Rajasthan later this month. Kamala Harris and her newly selected vice presidential running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the duo campaigned for the first time together on Tuesday in Philadelphia. They kicked off a multi-day tour of battleground states aimed at introducing Walz to the American people, to the national stage. In his remarks to a crowd of more than 10,000 at Temple University, Walz described his upbringing in a small Nebraska town, his 24 years serving in the Army National Guard, and his prior career as a high school social studies teacher and football coach. The US Justice Department has charged a Pakistani man with trying to hire a hitman to assassinate political figures in the US. The potential targets include the recent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. The department has also alleged Asif Merchant to have ties with the Iranian government. As for an affidavit included with the FBI charges, the department revealed that Merchant had been in contact with a source to plan criminal acts, including meeting with hitmen. However, officials have said they have no evidence to prove the same. Hyundai Motor Company has said it will invest 1 billion baht or $28 million to set up a facility to assemble electric vehicles and batteries in Thailand. Thailand's booming EV sector is currently dominated by Chinese car makers, including BYD and Great Wall Motors, which are using the country as a manufacturing base for exporting vehicles across Southeast Asia. The Hyundai factory to be located just southeast of the capital city of Bangkok. Liquidators of troubled property giant China Evergrande Group have started legal action against PricewaterhouseCoopers, accusing it of negligence and misrepresentation in its work for the group. Lawyers for the liquidators started the court proceedings against PwC Hong Kong and PwC Zhongtian in March. A version of Samsung Electronics' 5th generation high bandwidth memory has passed Nvidia's tests for use in its artificial intelligence processors. The qualification clears a major hurdle for the world's biggest memory chip maker, which has been struggling to catch up with local rival Skinix in the race to supply the advanced memory chips capable of handling generative AI work. The latest test approval follows Nvidia's recent certification of Samsung's HBM3 chips for use in less sophisticated processors developed for the Chinese market. Boeing plans to redesign the 737 MAX 9 to prevent mid-air cabin panel blowouts following an Alaska Airlines incident in January. The National Transportation Safety Board's hearings revealed systemic issues at Boeing's factory and FAA oversight failures. Missing bolts in the door plug were identified as a key problem. Boeing's senior VP for quality, Elizabeth, confirmed the implementation of design changes within a year. The company is also addressing quality control and documentation issues to restore safety standards. Cathay Pacific Airways announced a 15% drop in first half profit due to lower airfares. This despite strong performance from high travel demand and solid cargo business. The company attributed the profit decline to normalizing ticket prices after a previous imbalance in flight supply and travel demand had driven up fares. The group's load factor fell in the first half of 2023, with passenger yield decreasing by 11%. Despite this, the airline declared an interim dividend following its first annual profit in 4 years. Coastal South Carolina and Georgia are under flash flood warnings as tropical storm Debbie swamped the southeastern United States, leaving at least 5 dead. Joe Biden has approved emergency declarations for Florida, Georgia and South Carolina, allowing for federal assistance in coordinating disaster relief efforts. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has also activated his state's National Guard, with more than 3,000 service members mobilized to help with storm response. The governors of Georgia and South Carolina have declared a state of emergency ahead of Debbie's arrival. An iceberg near Antarctica has been continuously spinning on one spot for the last 8 months, leaving scientists completely stunned. The A23A iceberg, which is twice as big as Greater London, has been captured on top of a rotating cylinder of water in Antarctica. The phenomenon has been called a Taylor column. The iceberg landed in what is known as the Antarctic Circumpolar Current in April 2024. This should have moved the berg into the South Atlantic Sea, but the iceberg did not move at all. Scientists expect to encounter more large icebergs like A23A in the coming years. India's CBI has alerted the public to a rise in scams that involve fraudsters posing as CBI officers to extort money. These criminals use the agency's logo and the names of senior officials to appear legitimate and deceive victims on platforms like WhatsApp. There has been an uptick in fake calls, emails and messages claiming to be from the CBI after threatening legal action or arrest if the victims do not pay. According to an EY Future Consumer Index report, about 77% of Indian shoppers worry about data breaches when buying online. The study included nearly 1,000 Indian participants. The report indicates that customers prefer human interaction over AI or chatbot recommendations. As per the study, 78% of consumers chose online platforms with human customer service over automated ones. Additionally, it revealed that nearly 75% of consumers shop online for benefits like discounts and exclusive deals. French cybercrime police are investigating a ransomware attack against the Grand Palais Exhibition Hall in Paris. Olympic events such as fencing and taekwondo are being held at this venue. According to reports, cyber criminals targeted the institution's central computer system. The incident, however, did not cause any disruption to the Olympic events. Chinese tech firms ByteDance and Alibaba are separately working on new tools that create videos from text prompts. ByteDance has introduced Zhimeng AI for Chinese consumers. Meanwhile, Alibaba Group Holding is developing a similar tool called Tora, which is reportedly inspired by ChatGPT creator OpenAI's Sora.